Okay, so I was looking on YouTube and trying to find how to replace the air compressor, AC compressor in a 2008 Chevy van. It's like your standard issue work van here. I couldn't find much on here, so I did it. It wasn't that hard at all. That's why I'm putting this on here. There's a couple of things that made it more challenging, and it will probably make it easier for you having seen this. But let's go onto the truck here, and then we'll look at it from there, and then we'll also look at it from under the wheel well. That's how you're going to access this compressor. There's bolts under the truck, and then there's bolts behind the like the dust guard or weather guard, whatever, behind the wheel there. Okay, so we're under the truck. The tensioner pulley obviously has to come down. There's two bolts that'll come off of there. The air compressor, or excuse me, the AC compressor has a bolt here, and there's a bolt here, and this is on the bottom side. And that's pretty much all you're going to do other than take the thing off. When we go around to the wheel well, you'll see how we get it off there. Okay, this is the driver's side wheel well. Tires right here, obviously. I pulled this guard off here, just for the water or whatever that's there for. The lines are right here, and then there's one below it. They're pretty easy to access. You can kind of see the bolt for this one here. The other one's down here. I guess it's kind of right there. You can see that. It's really not too bad. The AC compressor is held on by a bolt there, and then there's another bolt right there that holds it on. So when you do this, you can even start up here. Obviously, you need to take all the pressure and everything out of the system, get somebody who's qualified to relieve the pressure and to evacuate all the refrigerant and everything out of there. But the bottom bolts, leave the two bottom bolts in. I guess you can go down and loosen them, but I took them out and ended up putting one back in because it made it harder to get the lines out once the air compressor was loose. So honestly, just first start with the lines, take the lines off, take these two top bolts off. They're really easy to get to. You'll get an extension. You'll need an extension. I'll show you that later. And it's a 15 millimeter head for this bolt, and this one I believe is a 13. And we'll go back under here. The biggest issue I had was getting the AC compressor. I'm sorry, I keep calling it air compressor. Getting the AC compressor out from under the truck. So we're going to go back under there, and I'll show you how I did that. Okay. So now when I'm trying to fish it out, it's sitting right here, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to get it through this opening here. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this. I could not figure it out. So essentially what I did was move the whole compressor around. All the oil drained out. You can see it on the frame rail there, so be ready for that. You might want a bucket or a pan or something under here. But essentially, I dropped it down, and then I put it over the steering components there. I brought it to the front, and there's a guard right here, a plastic guard, which is right there. I took it off just so I can put my hands in there. It's two bolts. Right here, it's two 15 millimeter bolts. It's easy, take it off, it'll make your life a lot easier. I essentially brought it up here and then back down the other side of the engine, and I was able to get it out right through here. So when I put the new one in, same drill. Now the new one was a little bit trickier to get in because it had the plugs that go into where the lines are going to go, and I left those on because I didn't want to get a bunch of crap in there when I was moving it around. Leave it on. Plugs, leave those on. It'll still go back in kind of the same way. It goes back around, up through here, and then back in there. So that was probably the biggest challenge of this. This may have taken me like, I don't know, like 45 minutes to get out and another 45 minutes to get in. This isn't a bad project at all. I was kind of dreading it, but it wasn't too bad. And I'll show you what tools you're going to use here. All right, this is pretty much it. I got a ratchet set. This is 3/8. This relieves the tension on the pulley. 15 millimeter socket. What did we say earlier? 13 millimeter socket. This thing made my life a lot easier. This is a ratchet wrench, 15 millimeter ratchet wrench. I had a small extension on the 13 millimeter from the wheel well to get the lines off of there. I had a large extension to go in the wheel well to get the two top bolts for the AC compressor. And then this little guy always helps out. I was able to kind of put this in the back of the extension and spin it off. That made it a little bit easier. And that's pretty much it. The only thing I will tell you too is put your oil in the compressor. Take the plug off your new compressor, put the oil in, and then put the plug back on. whatever oil you need. I guess it changes per vehicle and manufacturer and everything. But that's going to make your life a lot easier. Once you get it up in there, it's hard to put the oil in. It's doable, but you might as well do it just right now and get it over with. But that's meat and potatoes. It really wasn't too bad. Disconnect the electrical connection. Take the 4 bolts out. These are the top 2 that you'll get access from the wheel well. You'll access these 2 from the lines through the wheel well. These 2 will be under the truck. That's pretty much it. So hopefully this helps you out. Obviously, you know, seek qualified help and evacuate the system and charge it professionally. You know, nobody can do this at home unless you have the proper equipment. So, but as far as the mechanics of changing this, really wasn't too bad. The hardest part was just fishing it out of there. And again, there might be an easier way, but I couldn't figure it out. And once I figured out how to get it out, putting it back in took like, I don't know, a minute, 30 seconds, something like that. It wasn't too bad, even with these on, because when you take it out, you're not going to have these on. And that adds a little bit of depth, you know, a little bit of bulk onto the compressor. So, okie dokie. All right, good luck.